You are listening to the So Now What podcast with Lana Manikowski, episode number 6. So now what? These 3 words raced through my mind time and time again during my journey through fertility treatments. I tried desperately to have a child, but never was able. I yearned for a community to join that could understand my struggles. I couldn't find one, so I created one with the So Now What podcast. I love that you found us. Welcome back, everyone. How are all these beautiful people listening in? First of all, thank you to every single one of you who have shared this podcast with somebody that you know, a friend, somebody who maybe is going through a similar challenge that you think might be able to benefit from listening to the podcast. And I'm actually so inspired by everybody who hasn't even tried motherhood or people who don't even want to be parents that have listened in and told me that they've gained something from my first 5 episodes. So before I get started today, I just want to tell you thank you very much for the support. And I actually had a different topic planned for today, and I'll probably get to it next week. But I was going to do something, talk about something initially a little bit more relevant, which was my graduation from my life coaching school and officially becoming a certified life coach. I wanted to share with you all about the journey that got me there and the amazing things that I learned along the way. But I think I'm going to table that for next week and I'll tell you why. So, yesterday I had a photo shoot done because I am in the process of creating a website for my community. And I realized that if I'm going to create a website and build a community, I need to probably get some relevant pictures of myself. So I've these last couple weeks decided that I was going to hire a professional photographer, do hair, makeup, pick out the outfits, the whole 9 yards. Like at this point in my life, I'm worth it. If this is something that I want to do and a community that I want to build, I am worth the investment in myself to do things the way that I want to have them done. So, my photo shoot was yesterday. And when I finished the photo shoot, I made a conscious effort to sit down and start doing some paper thinking about what I experienced yesterday and what the creation of a website, that this was the first step in a big journey that I'm embarking upon, and really what it meant to me and how I was feeling, and, basically all the things. So, as I got to writing, I decided that this would be something really relevant to share with all of you, and it's about relationships. Whether we notice the existing relationships we have with people that are in our lives, whether they're physically in our lives or mentally in our lives. And yesterday's photo shoot, I had a photographer who last time I had seen, ironically, was the day I had my intro call with our reproductive endocrinologist at the clinic we transferred to in Colorado. So here I am getting pictures taken by this guy who had been part of a pretty monumental day in my husband's and my life, back last time we saw him. The dear people that I know that helped me with my choice of clothing and the hair and the makeup, these 3 ladies were all part of my journey. I've known them throughout my whole start of my fertility treatments, and individually, they each have such a special place in my heart because I have distinct memories of conversations that we had, and tears, and sadness, and hugs, and encouragement. And my niece who came over and helped me, who is 12 years old and is like the closest thing to anything I'd ever want in a daughter. And she's fabulous. And I just was so overwhelmed by these people that are in my life. Minus my niece, the other people I don't talk to regularly, but it gave me an opportunity to notice that you don't have to have someone in your life every day to have a relationship with them. And we have so many people that have impacted our lives and have made a dent in our lives that we might not think about regularly. But all these people came together yesterday because they wanted to help me. And because I'm a person worth loving. And because I added to their life. I mean, there's no way that they've given up their time to come help me create something if I wasn't someone meaningful that they felt they had a relationship with. And I've recognized that a lot of us that don't have children have that fear. I talked about that in episode 2 of that fear of growing old alone in a nursing home, worried about who we're going to have as we age. And we spend so much time feeling alienated from others that we don't give ourselves the opportunity to see that the people that we have in our lives, whether they're there daily or not, are part of your tribe. And they're part of an abundance you can have in your heart, whether you talk to them today or whether you've not talked to them in a year. There's an ability to feel this love and fullness in your heart because I felt it yesterday. And when I sat down and wrote about the creation of my website and what that means about building a community for all of us to find each other and for all of us to create meaning in our lives, it really made me want to talk to all of you and ask you to start thinking about what relationships you have in your life. And when's the last time you recognized who some of these people are? A relationship with someone doesn't always look like daily calls and texts. And I've come to realize that my life is made so much more meaningful by including people that I may not see or talk to on the daily. And finding love in your heart for someone that you've learned something from or shared an experience with, or maybe even it's somebody in the grocery store that smiled at you, well, before the days of masks, but that you've shared a smile with or eye contact with, or somebody in an elevator that you had maybe a meaningful chat with. There's an opportunity to take a nugget of something with you, but sometimes you just have to be more aware to look for it. And I think specifically about the day I got the call from our doctor in Colorado. I was in Minnetonka, Minnesota at a work event, and he had left a voicemail on my phone telling me that the genetic testing results were in for my frozen embryo and that they weren't in our favor. And I, of course, listened to the voicemail, even though he said, stop now and I'm going to leave you some serious information. You can pause and wait till you're with your husband and listen to it later. Of course, that that wasn't possible. So I continued listening to the voicemail and I heard our results and I was heartbroken. And I'm sitting in Minnesota, hundreds of miles away from my husband, and sobbing at a table, sitting in the most remote part of the building that I could find. And this woman, whose name I'll never know, came up to me and she touched my hand and said, "He will take care of you." And that's a relationship in my life I'll cherish forever. I have so many stories I could share of people that have touched my life so profoundly that my heart warms and my eyes fill with tears, with love for someone whose name I couldn't even tell you. Those are the parts of our lives that we have available to us and we don't reach out for. And it's so easy as you grow older to tell yourself you're alone, that you have no one to take care of you in your upcoming years. But that's not what it's all about. You're part of somebody's memory bank. I promise you that. I'm certain that there's people out there who think of you and you don't know it. So try to fill your heart with fullness every day by noticing the connections we can have with people, whether they're big or small. It doesn't have to be a feeling of isolation because you and one of your favorite college girlfriends don't share in motherhood. You have the option to choose if that's what you want to build your friendship on. There's so much more to look for than feeling left out because you don't share a common bond of motherhood. So, my point is decide that you can redefine what a relationship looks like to you. Your expectations can change. You can redefine how you want to think about the meaning these people have in your life. And what has this person come into your life to offer you? When we get out of our own way and really see the thoughts we have about the relationships with others, we can offer ourselves to live so much more abundantly. Even with the people that you have in your life that you felt have wronged you or hurt you in the past, you have an opportunity to have them in your life and think differently about them. Maybe they're not a person you'd ever call or talk to again, but decide to ask yourself, why are you feeling wronged by them? Could you write it out on paper and notice what you're thinking or feeling about that person? And start to ask yourself, why is that bothering you? Why are you letting that past experience harbor your heart? What comes up for you? And is it possible to see that as an opportunity to gain something for yourself? What is it you could get more curious about? Like, remember in episode 3 when questioning our beliefs, when you identify the thoughts that come up for you, that's your work. It's that junky stuff you feel because of what people have done or haven't done or comments that have bothered you. So take that opportunity to revisit the relationships in your life. Learn that some are worth noting. Well, all are if you really want to get granular. But for now, just decide that you have some amazing relationships with these awesome people and believe that you're worthy of being meaningful back to somebody and that you're meaningful in somebody else's life. And you'll start to see your thoughts shift. And it's so liberating to let go of harboring thoughts. When we walk around being ready to ignore somebody or retell a story we've told for years about how somebody's wronged us, it's such a waste of your time and waste of your energy. What happened in the past is over. So maybe that's your opportunity to say, why did that person bother me so much? Why did that experience hurt me so much? What can I learn about myself from that experience? So that's what I've got for you this week, beautiful people. I am so stoked to hear what comes up for you this week as you give thought to relationships that you have in your life. I will meet you back here next week as we continue to discover your meaning. In the meantime, make sure you check out my Instagram page at Stitch Coaching, STITCH Coaching. And as always, feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you think of the podcast. I'm absolutely open to ideas and would love thoughts about what we've covered here and ideas for things that we can cover in upcoming episodes. Bye.